Hey, hey, hey. Hello, everybody. Hello,
Howdy.
Krista.
Did you
Good to
just call
see
me Kirsta?
No, I said Krista.
Oh, that was weird. I was like, who's that?
Who?
Never heard of her.
Where's that person? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Moment of Presence with Michelle. And
Krista. How's
so,
everybody doing? How are we hanging in there?
yeah, let us know you're here.
In the comments.
Yeah, put it in the comments. Let us know you're here. Share this out. Do your notifications so you get notified when we go live. Haha.
I'm
Um,
excited for this episode. I'm curious to see where you take us on this journey.
because you like to call me out.
Not publicly, but if you're willing to do it, let's ride that journey into the sunset.
So yeah, so
Let's just dive right in.
yeah, I mean, I had a little bit of a moment.
Well, hold on. What's our topic today? Our topic is my family had to call me out.
My family had to call me out because I had a moment. Basically, lost my center. Think of The Incredibles, the moment when Edna goes, "Remember who you are."
No, 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 no. Jeez, woman, pull yourself together.
Okay, but she also says, "Remember who you are."
Yeah, but that's when she's being nice.
Okay, well, that's the part that sticks out to me.
Mm.
Anyway, I had a moment, and it was interesting because I was fine. You're going throughout your day, you're fine, you're good, you're fine. And I'm doing the dishes, still fine, still good. And then we were listening to a podcaster we listened to. Would you call him a podcaster? Uh,
Matt?
I don't even know if it was Matt or if it was Josh, or maybe it was both of them. I think it was Matt.
I mean, I
And
think technically they're considered podcasters, basically, like
we're considered podcasters.
political, societal commentators.
Yeah.
And thought.
And Matt is amazing and
Oh, he's
wonderful.
phenomenal.
He's great. We should do
That's
a shout
Matt
out.
Morse on YouTube and Rumble.
Yeah, I would definitely. It is no BS, just gives the news, talks about what he is noticing.
Yeah.
So it's awesome because you don't have to then search for new information. He just kind of pulls it up for you. So it's great.
Anyway, back to you.
Anywho, so so we were listening to Matt, and I was doing the dishes, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, it was like something clicked in my brain, and like everything I've been holding back on erupting and coming out and saying what I wanted to say kind of all came out at the same time. And it started with like, "Hey babe, so I want to talk something out with you." And at which time Krista then went, "Wait, can you guys come over into the living room because I can't hear everything and this sounds good."
Mm-hmm.
So so I let
I could
loose.
hear the emotion in your voice, and I was like, is she mad about something? Is she happy? Is she annoyed? I can't really get the tone from here. I can't hear the words clear enough. I'm like, yeah, y'all gotta come over here and move it into this room because I'm trying to listen here. I need to hear what this is about.
So has anyone ever had one of these moments lately where you don't even know the emotion behind the eruption? It's just going to start flowing, right? Just
Mhm.
word vomiting is just coming up. And and I wasn't sad. I wasn't even I wasn't crying. I wasn't yelling
Oh,
or
you were frustrated, not
I was
bad.
definitely passionate, and it was getting more and more as I continued.
Mm-hmm.
And it was definitely something I needed to talk out. And there's no conclusion, right? There's nothing to be solved. It
Mm-hmm.
was just things that I've been noticing about the world stage, and uh, common sense. We'll say that common sense is being kind of left out of it because what makes sense comes from a certain person or a certain party or a certain situation or an act. And even though it's common sense, people are pushing back on it because of who's suggesting it. Is that a politically correct way to describe all of this?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you said a lot and said nothing at the same time, to be honest with you.
I mean, I can go deeper if we want to do that.
Why don't I summarize it in a nutshell?
Sure, go ahead.
We as a society are in very different places, not even on opposite sides of the spectrum, just kind of all over the place. And she was feeling frustrated at the lack of common sense for certain issues, being blinded by emotions rather than thinking and seeing things through a logical perspective in a way that just simply makes sense. You know, just kind of getting frustrated with emotions taking dominance over logic and reason and that kind of thing.
You know, it's everyone should have a Krista.
I agree with you. Unfortunately, there's only one of me, and I hear this all the time in my life.
But everyone should have a person that just gets them,
Yeah.
that understands and can interpret exactly what was being said without me even saying all of
I'm
that.
the
Because,
universal translator for our family. Everyone, I can interpret what it's, honestly, at this point, I think it's genuinely one of my gifts is I can read the energy of people so well that I know how to
Mhm.
translate what one person says in a way that the other person can comprehend it.
Yes, yes, and I do that with clients.
Mm-hmm.
I can do it with myself as well. But in this moment, it was like the volcano finally just
Yeah.
erupted.
I mean, that's
And
going to happen sometimes.
yeah, well, yeah,
It
and
has to.
well, and here's the thing: the more it happens, it doesn't have to be as volatile, right? And I didn't break anything. I didn't like storm
Okay,
around.
you honestly, I just need to make something clear. You're making this sound way more significant than it was. Like if you're feeling like you have to make the disclaimer that you didn't break anything, I need to make it clear to everyone that like she had a slightly elevated civil conversation. Like her oh my god, I lost it is like what? Like that's her losing it. I just need to make that very clear. The
That's so
rest of
funny.
us, when we lose it, wildly different than you're
But
losing
you
it.
know what's
Just
so interesting, and I think everybody can feel the same way. Inside, I was like,
oh, I could feel it. I could sense it in your voice. I'm just saying, like
um,
your upheaval is not.
I've had bigger upheavals, I
Yeah.
guess. We could say that. I've definitely had bigger upheavals. But this was and I think I kept enough in check where I could explain myself. Um but I just couldn't explain it today without going too deep into the weeds of it.
I mean, it's
Um,
not about the topic. It's about the letting, getting overwhelmed, needing to release emotions, and
because
needing us to kind of call you out on it and bring you back to center.
right, because here's the thing. What I was feeling and what I was sensing and what I was, you know, feeling inside, what I took in from the day had accumulated and gotten to the point where I was full. I
Hmm.
was full. And I needed to talk it out. I needed to kind of hear myself. But what happened was I talked it out and I definitely heard myself. But being called out from your family looked like
I don't know what you want.
what did you guys have to tell me?
I had to tell you that let's bring ourselves into where we are right now. We look around, we've got a beautiful home. Thank you, God.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a beautiful property. Our neighborhood is a pretty solid neighborhood. Life is knock on wood. We're living well. We're
Mm-hmm.
healthy. We're okay despite what is going on in the world. And also, sometimes things are just not our job. It's not our responsibility. It's not what we're here for.
Right.
And we can get ourselves really worked up about it because we feel like we should be doing more. But in reality, the thing that is our doing more is just being who we are.
Right. And we've talked about this a lot on, in different episodes about what is yours, right?
Mm-hmm.
Asking yourself, stopping
Absolutely.
yourself and asking, is this mine? Is this my fight? Is this mine?
Mm-hmm.
I am still honestly kind of struggling with that because there's a it's not mine, but also I don't want to be complacent and just let decisions be made for all of us, but yet I'm not the only one that has to stand up. And I think that was part of that's definitely still part of the frustration is that it's, when you want to shake somebody and be like,
I was going to
oh,
say, well, you're missing a big part of this, and
open
this
your
is
eyes.
you are a people person. You
Mm-hmm.
want to guide
Mm-hmm.
people to the light. You want to get
Mm-hmm.
them, you want to bring people along with you. And even though and we've talked a million times on this show, it's not your job to do that. We're all human. We want to bring the people we love with us. We want to help them see the truth and not be held back by, just propaganda and disillusions that they've been
Yeah.
given. And that can be really frustrating, but it's a matter of bringing yourself back and realizing, like, screaming louder is not going to change someone's opinion. It's going to
Yeah.
shut them down more.
Right.
If someone wants to get the latest information, they're going to go and look to whatever source they feel like is trustworthy. They're not going to just listen to someone they saw on a social media site. So it's really, bringing yourself back to a grounded place to be able to see and acknowledge those things,
Mm-hmm.
um, and realize that, especially when it comes to things that have such um, harsh contrast between the sides,
Right.
politics, religion, things of that nature, like, screaming louder does nothing.
Yeah,
Screaming
exactly.
at all does nothing.
I mean, sometimes it releases the excess energy.
I'm
Like
talking
when
about
I
outward to other people. Like,
right.
screaming at
No,
somebody is not going to
no.
do anything. If you need to let it out, that's different.
Listen, karaoke is my screaming and my outlet. But so, okay, so let's break this down. So, what did I do right? I noticed that I was getting full
Mhm.
of what I could take in. Uh, and I reached out for um, help, for guidance, and let other people that know me, that I trust, guide me. And then pondered the entire conversation of, but am I helping by allowing myself to get so full that I can't take anymore? And of course the answer is no. And so it was a good reminder that the only thing that I can control, the only thing that I have that is mine, is me, is my emotions, is my response. And that was definitely a more reactive moment. And it had been building the entire day. So, and then the response kind of happened the next day after pondering, sitting with it, because there's still some of those residuals, but but what about this and what about that? And it's pulling yourself back in. And just like Krista reminded me and my husband reminded me, around us we're okay, everything is fine. And when you're having those moments and you're in panic or anxiety or just being reactive, it's taking that step back and going, okay, is this mine? Can I do anything to change it right now? Can I do anything to change me and what I'm putting out into the world, my energy, the way I'm feeling, the way I'm talking, the way I'm posting? And then can that then impact other people? And the answer is yes. And so if you're posting negative comments or argumentative, and you're being part of the problem instead of being part of the solution, and that is the bigger piece of this, is what do you want to be known for? Being part of the problem or being part of the solution? And then figuring out, how can you add to whatever the solution is? And maybe the solution isn't really known, but what isn't going to help is a bunch of people bitching. So it's got to be, what can we do to bring about positive change? And create the world we want to live in, and we want the future to live in. And that also, and so a little Barone family secret here is I'm going to be a yaya in what, 6 weeks, sometime in the next 6 weeks.
Hmm.
And it I'm starting to think differently. I'm starting to think of, ooh, I'm getting
I
emotional.
was just about to say, whoop, here come the tears.
Oh my goodness gracious. What kind of world do we want to leave? I know, I'm trying. My big
It's true.
announcement. We should like title this the big announcement.
No.
The world
Um,
changes. How we see the world changes. Or just as the world turns. But anyway, so yeah, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I honestly got lost in that. Um, I know I was going to say at one point that, I mean, most of the conversation last night was just giving different perspectives. It wasn't necessarily even telling you what to think or how to feel. It was, here's a perspective.
Yeah.
And that is usually a lot more effective than being like, well, you're wrong and this is how you should feel. It's more of, but think of it this way, and think of it this way,
Yeah.
or think of it this way.
Right. Leave those
Um,
butts out.
and those are always far more productive conversations. But again, in the culture that we're in society, there's no, it's not about who screams louder.
Yeah.
That has become the popular thing. Who can scream louder, who can post about it more frequently, which side is talking about it more. None of that matters.
Yeah. It's
All
the
that does is shut down the opposite side.
it's
And
the
the ironic thing is everyone's on the same side. We just have different perspectives. We have
on
different
how to get there.
perspectives. We have
Mhm.
different interpretations. We have different journeys. That's it.
Yeah. And it's that quiet strength versus the loud strength.
Yeah.
And it's that quiet undertone of common sense, uh how, and yes, being clear on your values. And that's probably, the other part is looking at your values and then looking at, values of others. And you have to find people that you align with.
Hmm.
And if you don't align with them, you don't have to stress yourself out and force yourself to be in an environment with others, or watching others, or participating in something that is not part of your value system. And so I think that remembering your values is so key, and revisiting, do they still make sense for you?
Hmm.
Are these still your values? My values are changing now, because now I'm looking at more of a little bit more of a legacy,
Hmm.
and adding that in, and making sure that, I want there to be this great world for the future to enjoy. And now there's a piece of that future that is coming into this world, which is amazing and
I
so
need to
exciting.
make it very clear because the language you're using, I don't love. There's a grandbaby coming.
What did I
Michelle's not
say?
going anywhere. Like
Oh,
there's just a
oh,
grandbaby. The way you're saying legacy and leaving things behind, I'm like, I don't not everyone
oh,
knows what
gotcha.
Yaya is. So like Yaya is Greek for grandmother. Like there's just a grandchild coming. That's
Yeah.
all.
It's
Um
not just that's all. It's a huge
oh
thing. It's
my god.
amazing.
Semantics. Anyway,
It's
what was I gonna
exciting
say?
times around here.
I was gonna say something along with that.
We were talking
Ah,
about values changing and shifting,
no, it was before that.
leaving a legacy. Oh, values. We were talking about values.
It's gone. It'll come back. Keep going.
Gone.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that's coming at you. And I think that there's a lot that's coming at a lot of people. And so giving yourself grace to sit in it, realizing that you're about to tip over, or, it's going to overflow, and allowing yourself that space to do that
Mm.
in a safe environment. Yes, go ahead.
I was gonna say one of the things that I think we get hung up on in certain mindsets that we can get stuck on is we forget that we are human. We forget that Earth is a 3D plane. We forget that human nature, while yes, it's been evolving for as long as we've been here, it's it's called human nature for a reason. We still are considered animals for a reason. There's certain patterns and we have a cyclical nature to our behavior and the way that our minds work. And I think one of the biggest areas that we can get hung up in, and I say this from experience because that was my early 20s, is we have this vision for the world. We have this vision for our lives. We have this vision for society. And it's a vision of peace and love and rainbows and sunshine, and nothing bad ever happens, and everything is always perfect. And that is just not how that's not how duality works. It's not even about society. It's not about it's duality. It is the rawest, purest form of energy that
Mhm.
exists. Everything has a dual nature to it. And we get hung up on, I want the world to be this sunshine and rainbows place, not realizing that we can get close to that, but there's always going to be the opposite side of that, the dualistic nature that always comes back to. Where do we find the middle ground of that? Where
Right.
can we find our sunshine and rainbows and love and light and peace and all of these things?
In our
There's
own world.
still going to be stuff that you don't love. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily wrong or whatever. It just doesn't fit your version of that. But that
Hmm.
is not realistic or just possible. It's not even about realism and oh you're too realistic. It's just the way that energy works. It's the way that society works. It's the way that
Hmm.
humans work, human nature, like it is just how it works. There always has to be ebb and flow and balance, light and dark, because without the other you won't know. You don't know light if you don't have dark. You don't
Right.
know is it heat is or cold is the absence of heat. So you don't know cold without heat.
Right.
And using that example, cold and heat, some people love cold, some people love heat. It doesn't mean the other side is wrong, but you can't have one without the other. And that's one of the places
Right.
that I feel like we get the most lost in when we're especially growing up, and we get hooked
Hmm.
on that mindset is we can't see that that picture is just not possible for human nature. It's the reality and the premise of the
Right.
human experience.
And it's also interesting because, and I'm glad you went down this route, um, because there could be shit storms all around you, but it doesn't mean that your environment can't be rainbows and butterflies.
Yeah.
It's just that there's other things going around, and we've used, the analogy before where you're the lighthouse and the storm is outside, and there's a tornado and it's around you, but you don't have to allow
Hmm.
that tornado, the winds and the rain. You don't need it to allow it to rain on your own parade. And that was, uh part of the issue was I was allowing it into my little world, my lighthouse. I kind of opened the windows of the lighthouse and letting the storm in, and I needed to put everything back in place. And
Yeah.
so once that's done, and here's the thing is that before I learned the things that I've learned about myself, and have done the work, so to speak, and done the extra reps of putting the tools into use, using I anything I say to you guys, I actually practice. I practice what I preach. And so it takes me a few minutes, an hour, and sometimes I do have to sleep on it. And then I can wake up and the sun's shining again. And I remember that there's butterflies and dragonflies flying around outside.
Yeah.
And that the other external things that are going on, you can still feel for the people that are involved in it. You can still, you know, even be worried or thinking about, like, you know, the military and how scary that is, and what they're doing, and they're risking everything, you can still have that empathy and the compassion, but you don't have to walk around shaking in your own shoes, because you are in this moment and you are okay right here.
Yeah.
And the best thing we can do is send out blessings, send out prayers, send out love and good energy and peace. And that's the part that I needed to be reminded about, is
Yeah.
that I can control my environment. And then from my environment, my energy controls my family, my house, each of us. And that's how you make bigger changes.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's how I lost it and recalibrated and got realigned. And the thing is that if we don't allow ourselves those moments, then we can't continue to practice
Yeah.
what we need in order to remain peace from within,
Yeah.
in that internal peace. So, uh, keep on keeping on, keep doing what you're doing. And if it's not working for you, or if it's taking you days to get over things, then, start getting curious, start asking yourself questions. Is this mine? Can I make an impact?
Mm.
What can I do? What will make me feel like I'm contributing in
Yeah.
a healthy, positive way? Be
Yeah.
part of the solution, not part of the problem. We don't need any more people piling that on. Okay, I'm off my soapbox now.
Thanks for joining us today. Feel free to comment your favorite part of the show. If you have any
Yeah.
questions, any topics you'd like to see us chat about, follow, like, subscribe, all those good things. We will be back next week, same time, different topic. Any final words, Michelle? You want to do your standard sign off?
Yeah, and I'll add, if you have something that you've gone through that was similar to this, share it in the comments, because I go through and I look at those and I respond. So if you've
Yeah.
gone through something similar, I don't even care if you say, yeah, me too, what a week. Let us know, how you're doing, because we care about all of you, and we're happy that you all are here. So remember, we all can, decide for ourselves, is it going to be a good day or a bad day? You have to make that choice. You get to make that choice because you're in control of that for you. So choose wisely. We'll see you next week.